I think Yu's in a pretty good spot right now as far as mechanics and everything. He's never going to be happy and always, you know, try to find different things to get better. So, but he's right now. It looks like he's pretty well dialed in. And Blake has some things to take care of. The stuff's been really good. It's a matter of getting ahead and the secondary pitches for strikes and things like that, and managing the game a little bit better. So I think there's a lot on the table for him that we need to take care of. But yeah, both of them having them go out back to back. I mean, you can win a game against any team at any time with those two guys. So we'll take that.
And Joe Musgrove has been outstanding. Obviously, we haven't really had a chance to talk to you since the no-hitter, and you've been a part of a lot of them. You've seen a lot of your pitchers throw them, but was there something special about that one, knowing what it meant to the organization, and what in particular about his effort to get through that game impressed you the most?
Well, I think a calmness between innings, and a determination that he was going to get it done. I think he knew how to go about it. I thought Victor did a really nice job with him, especially later in the game, to make sure that he wasn't going to give up a hit on a pitch he shouldn't give it up on. And pretty much went with breaking balls a lot at the end, but was, dialed in with pretty much everything, which obviously when you throw a no-hitter, you probably are, but, there's some outliers in there. But, I thought he handled everything pretty well, and it was pretty cool to see the way that it was received in San Diego, and, him being from there, and just the first one, and, just everything that everybody's written about. It was pretty cool to be a part of. He's got a really good feel for the cutter, and outside of one the other day, it's been a really, really effective pitch. So, and he can move the baseball around, backdoor breaking balls and back foot breaking balls. And, his breaking balls in the zone have really good finish to him, which is a key element, because he can throw them in the zone. Against the Dodgers, I felt like he could have thrown him in the zone the whole game and been really, really done well with it. But, he got a little bit where he was trying to strike people out and trying to make better pitches than he really needed to make. So I think that had an impact on the game. And I think he'll take care of those things. No, he's a bulldog, and, his fastball has some deception to it. So, but he is not afraid to get after it. And, he's pretty emotional on the mound as you watch him pitch, but he's just got a really good presence and a good aggressiveness, and just gets after people and trusts his stuff, and hopefully he does that tonight. Well, we'll see as we go, but it's a short, quick arm, and I think that causes problems for hitters when it's like that. It's a huge adjustment to get it going, and when you're upwards from 95, it's even tougher. So I think those things play into it a lot. Just the short arm and the quickness, with which it works. So that's tough on a hitter.
As far as Chris Paddack goes, was that one of his better outings last night in terms of the overall use of his stuff, and what progress do you see with him?
Well, I think, last night he used a curveball a little bit more, and the shape is getting better. The fastball is playing, and, really he's been getting beat with changes more than anything else. And I think that's a mentality that we have to deal with, for him to have the understanding that fastball is playing better. I mean, there's a number of swings last night that weren't very good on his fastball. So, I think it's going to be an adjustment period, but I think the curveball is going to get into play a little bit more, and it's going to be an important pitch to give him a third pitch. And then, we'll keep working with the cutter. And it's been good on the sides, but in the game, he tends to overpower it. And last night, a couple of them backed up, and, it wasn't really an effective pitch last night, but I think somewhere that's going to come into the mix too. But there's been some really good signs from him. And, if you just look at numbers and stuff right now, although 6 days ago they looked okay until they changed it, which I won't get into, but, I think he's headed in the right direction. You're probably better off asking his dad than me, but because when I've only seen him the last year or so, and that's who he's been. So, I'm not sure his dad taught him that to create the deception, probably to create the best delivery he could have, but it's played up, and it's played up really well. So, And he repeats it really well, which is the key to, any delivery. So, those components I add up to a guy that's done what he's done. Well, I mean, last night he threw a couple of curveballs for strikes on first pitches, which, and they had good shape to him. Whether that becomes a pitch later in the delivery, which would be a really important thing. But, with him, you got to look at the fastball and how it's playing. And when it's playing right, he should have good games. And then the other pitches, can fit in accordingly. But it's going to play off the fastball more than anything else. And, the command, the first pitches, and, being able to mix with the changeup, but not dependent on it every key situation. So, I think we still need to concentrate on the fastball. And last night, there were some good metrics to it, but a little inconsistent still. So we've got to straighten that out. But the curveball is coming along, and I think he's developing some confidence in it. And, I think he's in a stage where a lot of young pitchers go through it. They have to figure things out, and they're doing a little bit on the run. But at the end of the day, that's how they learn how to pitch. And I think, if I were defining anything, I think he's learning to become a major league pitcher.
What's impressed you the most about Mark Melancon right now?
His ability to make pitches with the cutter and the curveball, and coming out of spring training, and that's spring training, and, not overly effective, but not, just getting things done and getting ready. And, when the time started, the game started, you saw the effectiveness of what he does, and, has a great feel, and I think, the velocity's been up some, and with that cutter, it's really good on left-handed hitters, and the curveball plays really well off of it, and he uses both sides of the plate. So, he's a guy that we thought in the ninth inning would be the guy, because he's been there and done it, and there's a calmness there, which is important in the end of the game, and he's got those components, and so I think it all came together, and hopefully he can continue on this run.
Austin Adams, he is unhittable, yet he hits a lot of guys. What are you seeing in him right now?
It's kind of all or none, which you see, a lot of strikeouts, but there's days when he's just off a little bit. And, with that delivery, when you're off a little bit, you're off a lot. So I think, he's worked really diligently on trying to repeat it and, calm it down a little bit and make it more compact and not lose the effectiveness of, what the hitter's seeing at home plate. And, he is a pitch that when he throws it right, it's basically unhittable for any hitter. It really doesn't matter who's hitting. So what we're getting at is, like, let's repeat that as often as possible. And I don't care if they know it's coming, because it's really an unhittable pitch. And, I would challenge a hitter to hit it if he throws it the way he can. So our goal is to get him to throw it the way he can a lot more than he has historically. But I think, you've seen it more and more here. He had the one blimp the other day, but, he had a game where he was 9 for 9 with strikes, and, had a couple of punch outs, almost had the immaculate inning. But, that's what he's capable of. And I think our job is to try to get him to repeat that as often as we can.
What did you see out of Dinelson today, and what do you think is going to be like the key for him going forward? Might he just need to learn how to pitch with some tightness or sensation or something?
Yeah, today was a good day for him. What that means, we'll see tomorrow. You take it one day at a time with guys that are going through that. But the best thing about today was, at the end, he said, "I felt like myself." In the last couple of days, he didn't quite feel like himself, but when he says that, it means that the arm's quick. He feels good with it. And it's not that he felt bad the last couple of days. He just didn't quite feel right. So today was a really good day to see. And, he threw the ball the way he can. So as we go forward, we'll see where he is, tomorrow and the next day, and then try to put together, maybe face some hitters before he comes off the IL, and see how he reacts to that, and then get things going. There's not really a rehab process anymore, because he's fully built up. We tried to check all the boxes to make sure, he was covered as far as getting ready, and not rushed at all. and really took a lot of time and care trying to get him through this. So, there's no longer a rehab process for this. We've done just about, and he's done everything he can possibly do. So we've got to see now, let's get after and see what happens.
Got one more, and you talked about Blake, so I'm not looking for you to repeat what you said, but just he's such an enigma. And I know that you talked about how it's more important what he's doing like June, July, August, but did you expect he would be further along now and have gone maybe 6 innings, or what is your characterization of his progress in building?
Well, I mean, obviously we all hope for that, but he's let some things get in his way of performing the way he can. Which we've talked about. And, I think going forward, I mean, I'm not one to be patient and wait for June and July. I think with his stuff, it's there in front of him. It's just a matter of repeating his delivery better and landing the secondaries. And he's done that. And when he's done it, he went Cy Young, so that's what we're after. And that's what he's after. But the stuff, I'll take the shot with that stuff every game. And, the makeup and being left-handed and, delivery wise, it's pretty good. It's just a matter of repeating it and getting comfortable in it and, really getting after people. And I think, he'll have that mindset going forward. And I expect that he can be a huge piece of this as we all do.